Hey everyone, this is Nick with this week's fly fishing forecast. Today is Tuesday, September 3rd. We hope everyone had an awesome Labor Day weekend. It was a great, cool weekend. Hope you got to get out and camp and fish and be with family and friends. That's what we were doing, out having some great fishing, and so hope you got to enjoy that too. If you're anything like the valley right now, we're nice and cool. It's starting to feel a little bit like fall. If you look at kind of the 10-day forecast, even honestly, as far as you can see in a lot of the forecasts, it looks like it's going to stay pretty similar, pretty much like mid 70s throughout the week, cool evenings. So it's really starting to feel like fall. We're looking forward to that season and a lot of stuff changing while taking advantage of kind of the last month or so of summer fishing on the bigger rivers. So as some of you may have seen, we got some kind of isolated rain throughout the weekend, really localized. Like there were places that got 1 to 3 inches. There were places that got very little. And so that's led to a couple streams being in like really good shape and some others still being kind of where they were back in the low water. So as you're heading out, if your stream you're fishing has a gauge, I would definitely recommend checking it. For instance, like Dry River doesn't have a gauge, but Dry River got a good bit of rain in some of those storms, but a lot of it kind of moved north. And so like Upper North River and some of those places are still really low. So like I said, good to get some rain. We got those cooler temperatures. A lot of our gauges are kind of stabilizing. So, you know, check those places. If you always can give us a call, we can try and give you a little more specific information on reports if we've gotten them. But overall, we're starting to trend a little bit better. Nice cool temperatures, good water in some places. Looking at the 10-day, it doesn't look like we have a whole lot of rain coming. Looks like Friday, maybe some chances of some showers. So we'll keep an eye on that. But like I said, overall, seems like we're starting to get into a little better trend. Feels a little less droughty, at least after this weekend. So I kind of mentioned we got about a month left of our really good like summer smallmouth fishing. Doesn't mean there's not more fishing to be had as we get into the fall, but kind of your typical summer biting patterns, we usually start to see that slow down pretty good about October 1st. But right now, with the cooler evenings, we've noticed some days the bite being a little bit slower in the morning, fish getting really active as it gets a little bit warmer in the afternoon. Still pretty low and clear. We're hovering right around average flow. If you look at some of like the South Fork gauges, they did some nice little spikes, but they're back down and leveled out. So fishing's been really good. We're enjoying that smallmouth fishing while we still have it. You know, sometimes fishing crayfish patterns, hellgrammite patterns, those deeper, slower flies can be pretty effective on those morning bites that are a little bit slower. And then the afternoon's been good bug fishing, you know, fishing cicadas, damselflies, frog patterns, that type of thing. So like I said, take advantage of that if you can get out and do it. With that month being left, like get out and take advantage before stuff starts to change. With some of the cooler temperatures, we're starting to see some fish like, you know, in the long stretches of really cool nights, you'll see like little hints of what we would call like fall patterns. And so, you know, that being said, like especially after a few cold nights, if you start fishing through some water that normally you would catch fish all the way down the bank, you may find that you go a little ways and aren't catching a lot of fish, and then all of a sudden they're like pulled up a little bit tight, and all of a sudden there's a lot of fish in one spot. So keep an eye on those patterns. Some days you may cover a little water, find the fish a little bit longer, work on them. Just something to keep in mind. If we stay kind of low and clear, while those fish can be pretty concentrated and that's nice, they can also be spooky. You got a lot of eyes staring at you. So if it stays low and clear, you start to see fish kind of potted up a little bit, you know, long leaders, taking a slower approach, being mindful of where your boat or where your wading is can help you be a little bit more successful. We're starting to see a lot of good water temperatures dropping for musky fishing, so they should be pretty fired up coming into the fall. We usually like to, once we get those cooler temps, get a good bit of musky fishing in before the leaves start choking and taking over the river. So I know I've said it a couple times, but one last month of really good summer fishing, then we'll start to see some stuff change, so take advantage of it. Trout fishing's been pretty good overall. The spring creeks have been great, back to lower and clear, but got a good shot to keep them going. We're still seeing some hecks hatching in the evenings. I was out there late last night just checking the creek out, and there were some pretty big spinner falls of hex. If you're not familiar, it's a really big mayfly. You can fish like size 8 hex patterns, or like a big hopper pattern will sometimes do the trick. It's a big meal, so that last hour of daylight when you're seeing a lot of those bugs can be a really fun time to go out to the creek and look for heads popping up and try and just specifically fish to those fish rising. During the day, it's been pretty straightforward. A lot of hoppers around, so hopper dropper is a great option. Overcast days or when fish are just feeling like chasing, streamer fishing's been good. Whether that's, you know, swinging buggers, bouncing jig flies along the bottom. You know, if you go out with a couple different sizes and colors and can change up if something's not working, you should have what you need. So pretty straightforward there. Another really good month or month and a half of hopper fishing, so take advantage of that. And then those brook trout streams I talked about that got little shots of rain, like Dry River, you can go out and take advantage. They tend to feed pretty good once the water comes up. You know, little hoppers and ants. I talked to some guys about a week ago who were out fishing Dry River and did real well just fishing small terrestrials. If not a lot of surface activity, dry dropper is always a good idea. Really, really deep pools you can fish, you know, an indicator and a nymph just to kind of dredge the bottom. So like I said, starting to feel like fall. I'm excited about the cooler temps. If we can just get a little more rain as we go, it'll only make things better. Depending on water levels, we're still probably about a month out or so from the state starting to stock some streams. So as we get closer to that, we'll keep you posted. But as always, if you got questions, give us a call. If you want to try and get a little more info on maybe a certain stream and conditions or fly selection, we're always happy to help. So as always, give us a call, email us, or better yet, come see us in the shop, and we'll talk to you next week.